Welcome to Indian Tech Icon Spotlight, where vision meets execution. On the spotlight, we have today our guest, Lavanya, who is a dynamic leader delivering quality and high-performance software solutions. Hi, Lavanya. Welcome to our show, and thank you so much for joining our show today. And it's really a pleasure to host you today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So let's start from the beginning, Lavanya. From your very first role, let's talk a bit about your career journey, from your first role to where you are right now.
Yeah, so my first job after graduation, I was hired into a QA role. And yeah, so I sort of like got into that role at the start and I really enjoyed it. But eventually when I started finding bugs and I tried to debug them and then eventually start fixing them, and then I did an application developer role full time for a few years. And in the process, I realized that I liked the testing role a lot more. So in the next job that I took up, I went back to like a sort of testing space, and I did that in a few different places that I worked at. And then in my current workplace, again, I started in sort of the testing space, but then there was a leadership gap that I noticed and I started trying to fill. So eventually I became a director of QA. Then I wanted a bigger challenge, so I moved on to becoming a director on the web team, and then moved on to becoming a director on one of our full stack teams. So that has been my journey so far.
So Lavanya, it has been truly inspiring and really looks like you like to accept more and more challenges. And it's really, wonderful to know that you have seen the both sides, the QA as well as the developer. So, we'd like to know more about your current roles, like what are your day-to-day roles and responsibilities as an overall delivery head?
Yeah, so I'm currently like the director of software development on some of our teams here at my current startup. The idea is to focus on shipping products, ship them with quality. But also I think the core part of the job is to build high performance teams that deliver great quality software for our customers that delight our customers. So it is managing teams, but also managing delivery. That's the role.
Beautiful. Now, talking about quality and talking about the delivery on time, how do you balance out that?
Yeah, there is always, that's a good question. And that, there is always a fine balance. You don't want to be so late to the market that, it doesn't matter how great the product is. But you also don't want to go to the market with a bad product. So there is definitely a balance. One of the things that we do a lot on our teams is that every single person takes ownership of quality. So it's a team responsibility, and we try to imbibe the quality aspects right from the start of a project till the end, and that helps us move faster while still delivering quality products.
So Lavanya, sometimes, like coming from a quality background, I have seen in projects, sometimes the quality gets compromised. So what's your approach on that in kind of, convincing the customers or kind of letting them know how important quality is? So what's your approach on that? Might have experienced as well.
Yeah, I think I've been a little lucky to have worked on teams where people do care about quality a lot. One of the things I'll say is that in the end, what matters is, are the customers happy with the product? Are they delighted by the experiences? Are we hitting our business goals as well? And quality does play a big role in all of these aspects. And thinking about it in terms of those kind of outcomes probably motivates people to actually build and have quality sort of like first sort of approach. And that has been something that I've been trying to practice, and our teams do that. And that has helped us quite a bit.
Right. And so talking about teams, so again, if I talk about either quality or development, right, it's always a job which comes with a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibilities, on-time delivery, and with this agile CI/CD, all this is like creating more and more pressure these days. So how do you try to keep your team always motivated so that you have quality deliverables on time?
Yeah, I'll say that one of the important things that we try to do as leaders is clearly communicate why we're doing this. Right? When the intent is clear, when people understand the goals behind what we're building, a lot of people naturally feel motivated to push hard to achieve those. So yeah, clarity of and understand, like giving the team a understanding of whys is pretty key. And also it also starts like early on from the hiring process, right? And like building the team. So I work for a startup, and not all the roles and responsibilities are very clearly defined at times, and it's important to have people that are agile, willing to take ownership and fill those gaps whenever there are gaps. And if we hire those kind of like people with those kind of traits, and then motivate them by giving them an understanding of why we're building things, it has generally worked pretty well for me.
Fantastic. Lavanya, you have been into a leadership role from quite some time. So what do you, or how do you see yourselves getting evolved as a leader overall? Or what are the qualities you have adopted to all these years?
Yeah, I think some of the things that like make us a strong leader are probably like vision, empathy. I would say is a big one, and helping the team realize the value of the things that they're building. And I have grown with time. I hope I have at least, and the journey sort of like continues to evolve me as a leader. I like to think of myself as like typically a democratic leader, but different situations may need me to take on like a different kind of role, and with time and experience, I have had to wear like have different sort of leadership styles during those situations, and you learn with time as well.
So were there a project or any experience wherein, after the production deployment, you have experienced like a lot of bugs coming in. You have to make a lot of hot fixes and all. So what that kind of experience has taught you as a leader?
Yeah, that has happened. And when you're trying to ship a lot of things fast, sometimes you do overlook maybe things that are critical that you don't realize necessarily at that point that it is critical. But when things go to production and users start using it, you realize, oh, that was bad on this. I think in those like scenarios, it's important to work as a team to first fix it, and then work as a team to understand what went wrong. And it's not about blaming an individual; it's trying to understand what happened in the process and how do we change our processes or make things better so that this kind of mistake doesn't happen again. So mistakes will happen, but if we're learning and then correcting and improving them for the future, that's what helps us in the long run.
Absolutely. Now, delivering any software application or solution, it takes a lot of collaboration. And that's, I believe, the collaboration is the key with the stakeholders, with the QA team, with the development team and whatnot, right? So how do you, what's your approach on reaching out to different stakeholders? And maybe let me put it this way, like how important is the requirement gathering, documenting the right requirements? In case of Agile, how important to document the stories in the right way so that not just the developers, the QA should also get the details of what they need to be tested.
Yeah, so I currently work at a slightly small organization, and we are an in-person sort of culture, and that helps a lot with understanding and getting on the same page, because we can turn around and ask a question, right? And I think that is very valuable, especially in that stage of a company. But I do agree with you, right? Collaboration is the key. Clarifying requirements, making sure that we're on the same page. Like maybe two different people have a feeling that they understand it, but their understanding might be very different. So sometimes coming together and like talking it through helps a lot. And in those processes, like getting different roles involved. So yeah, getting a QA person involved in the early phases, getting a developer involved in the early phases, maybe a designer, maybe the product person, all of them. Like having different roles come together and discuss and have shared understanding helps with the delivery in the long run.
Right. So what, according to you, are the key elements, right, which can either make or break any digital transformation?
I think some of the important bits is to experiment and be okay, like when things fail and go wrong, but then course correct. Because failure is part of the journey, but if we get feedback early and then make changes based on that, then it can be successful.
Do you conduct retrospective meetings?
Yeah, we do, yeah.
And how important that you feel is needed after every go live?
So we do it every sprint, after every sprint, so that's once every 2 weeks. And I think it has been very valuable, not just to talk about what has happened in those 2 weeks that could be better, but also to talk about like so many other things. I think one of the things that people do often in the retrospectives is maybe just focus on like the delivery aspect. But what we actively try to do is also focus on, what could be better in terms of process? What could have been better in terms of communication? How can we be better, as a company? And brainstorming ideas and openly, transparently discussing that with the whole team and getting the team's buy-in to experiment or, like change course has been very valuable.
So Lavanya, given the competing priorities in any projects, what's your approach to the time management piece?
Yeah, that's always a thing to actively take calls on. It all really comes down to understanding priorities. Oftentimes deprioritizing things that don't matter at that point, or maybe delegating certain things. But yeah, it's a lot about understanding, getting on the same page about what the priorities are, where an attention like is needed, and then focusing and delivering on that.
That's a great answer. So Lavanya, let's talk a bit about, outside of work, the giving back to the society thing, right? So I know you're involved in some community services. Would you like to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm one of the co-organizers of the Test Tribe Calgary chapter. It's a software testing community. It's actually a global community, and we started that here in Calgary. The way I sort of like started that was, I used to be part of other software testing communities like back in India, back in Singapore. And when I moved here, there wasn't one that was active at that point. And I felt like I missed that sense of, community, a sense of like sharing knowledge with people, learning from each other, and then being there for each other in our journey. So I had an idea of maybe starting something here in Calgary, and I met two other people, amazing women who had very similar ideas, and the three of us got together and started this. So we organize meetups in person once a month. There are some also online meetups that happen. But yeah, the real idea is to learn and share, and yeah, become friends, not just professionals that but like also get to know each other on a personal level, and hopefully have a good relationship with each other in the future.
Absolutely. Lavanya, let's talk a bit about, or maybe if I have to ask you, if you have to give an advice to all the aspiring tech professionals or the aspiring professionals who want to get into the quality role, so what your advice would be?
I would say keep learning, don't stop learning, and also give things a try. Like I did mention early on that I did move from like a QA space to a development space, and I think that was a great decision. But over the course of time, I realized I probably like the testing space a lot more, and I moved back. So it's okay to change courses if you desire, but if you have opportunities, go give them a try, and you'll find something that you like, hopefully.
So Lavanya, thanks for sharing all the wonderful insights and your kind of career journey with us. Now, we would like to learn more about your early days, about your hometown, and how the city that you grew up in shaped the way you are as a leader today.
Yeah, I grew up in Mumbai. My parents still live there. Mumbai is not necessarily a very easy city to live in. And I saw my parents, they both worked till their retirements. And I saw like how hardworking they were. And that has been one of the values that I've carried over. That has shaped me quite a bit. So hard work and discipline, because I saw it so early on in my parents. And it's sort of needed in a city like Mumbai, where you do have to wake up early and take the local train, which is really crowded, and go to work and come back and all of that. So yeah.
So coming from Mumbai and now in Calgary, how do you see the difference?
I do enjoy Calgary a lot. Like I've lived in very crowded cities in the past, and Calgary makes me feel real good. Just even like having open space and open land without like tall buildings actually makes me feel very good. And I do like enjoy having mountains close by. So it has been good here.
Wonderful. Lavanya, let's talk a bit about your family. Who all are the key anchors in your family?
Yeah, I do not have siblings. So my parents were like the biggest part of my journey growing up.
Oh, nice.
And Sri, my husband, he and I live here in Calgary, and he has been very supportive in my career throughout, and he's been like has played a key role in my journey as well.
Lavanya, yes, I know you love hiking, and I did meet Shri, your husband, and he did mention that you both love to, go for hiking, and that's how you both like to spend your time. Now, outside of the family activities or work, are there any personal hobbies or interests that you like to pursue?
Yeah, even during my college days, I used to be very involved in sports. I used to play badminton for my department. I also played football, soccer for my college, and I did continue that like even after joining work for a few years. Has been way lesser now, but yeah, I do enjoy sports. I do watch some sports as well. And yeah, community work, that is something that like I'm volunteering my time to do, but I absolutely enjoy it, and yeah, it makes me feel great. So also I hope it helps other people, so I continue doing that.
Nice. Do you watch movies? Are you fond of watching movies?
Yeah, a little bit on I guess more on like Netflix or things like that.
If you get time.
Yeah, we did go watch a movie, Ponniyin Selvan, in theater, and to me it felt so loud, and I couldn't forward the music. So so I guess like yeah, most often we now watch movie at home.
Yeah, so that's wonderful, Lavanya. And we are nearly approaching end of our wonderful discussion. And at the end, we have a round called as the rapid fire round, where I'll be asking you some questions, and I would be expecting some quick answers from you.
Yeah.
So are you ready?
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So your first question, product launch day, calm or chaos?
Calm.
Oh, nice. Delegation or doing it yourself?
Depends on the situation.
Okay. Best part of being in a leadership role?
Helping others grow.
Lovely. Next question. If you were a bug in a software system, what kind would you be?
Oh, that's a very hard one.
Anything based on severity, you can go.
I want to say time zone related bug. That is something that most developers hate. So
Right. Okay, that's a good answer. Next question. What's your I need a break song?
I think it depends on my mood. I do like old 80s Bollywood songs or early 90s. So maybe those.
Absolutely, coming from the same era. If your to-do list could talk, what would it scream at you right now?
I try to keep it like pretty clean generally. So yeah, nothing terrible, but I do have like a long list of things that I may want to do someday that if I get a chance, I would. And it includes things like, oh, I want to learn to fly. So there are those kind of things that it may just like tell me that I'm not paying attention to.
That's great, and good luck with that. And it was really a pleasure talking to you, Lavanya.
It's great talking to you.
And thank you so much for taking out time for our show and sharing all the valuable insights. And we wish you continued success in your career.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank
I had
you.
a great time chatting with you.
Same here.